And we are live from LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, X, Instagram, and Facebook. I did have to edit it during the video to get us live on Facebook, but welcome to WinsDay, revenue party people. We've got hot topics, hot prizes, and hot guests. So let's get into it. Keep us honest from the comments. Let's keep it a good conversation. But if you are there tuning in, and I'm going to pull up LinkedIn. Let's see how many people do we have here tonight. It usually takes a few minutes to get people to come. Hopefully it showed up as a notification for you. But let us know where you're tuning in from. And how is the weather for you tonight? I know it's been bad across the United States. Hopefully everyone has been safe. Everyone here in the WinsDay community, which by the way, we have a WinsDay WhatsApp community. And if you want into that, just let us know. I can drop the link for that or just DM me for the link actually, and I'll invite you there. But let's get into it because we have our hot topics, hot guests, and hot prizes tonight. So hot topics, we'll be getting into those here in just a moment. You just saw the first one and there's more of those. If you're on the newsletter, then you know what we're talking about already tonight. If not, go subscribe. Just go to reveting.com, scroll to the bottom of the page if you don't get the pop-up right away, and subscribe. We do still have room for sponsorships. There is technically room for 6 logos up here. I don't know, audience, what do you think? 6, maybe 4 would be better. I'm not sure. I know for our ads, I've gotten some feedback that they do run a little longer, so we will make that more of an elite section. But want to keep hearing feedback from you all, and also just know there's room for sponsorships. So would love to add some more people here. And I'm just going to show you the prizes because that's what everyone's interested in typically. So we've got high level, the swag pack. Who here has won the high level swag pack? Anyone tuning in? Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Erica. I think both of you have won the swag pack. I think our guests have won the swag pack. I'm not sure. If not, enter to win by tagging high level throughout the show. We also have our 10 hours free virtual assistant service. DJ Kim, is the co-founder over there, and he'll also be on the Deconstructing Data podcast with us tomorrow. Side note, but you can get 10 free hours of virtual assistant service by just tagging Cherry Assistant. They'll help you with your social media. They'll help you with your lead gen. They'll help you with your data management. There's so much more. Just watch the ad during intermission and you can see some more of the stuff that they can help you with. But we're all already inundated with information, right? We're just sitting in front of our phones. We have so much happening. It's hard to take more information in. So take a load off with a virtual assistant. I've been working with Sabrina. She's here in the comments tonight. Hi, Sabrina. Thanks for all your help in making tonight possible and getting all of the graphics just every week, duplicated and updated. Couldn't do it without you. So prize 3 #right will get you 10 free blogs with Open Draft. We use Open Draft to do a lot of different things. Like, yes, it's for blogs, but you can also use it for newsletters. And it's an AI tool that helps you optimize based on keywords and with SEO tactics. So check it out. It's more than ChatGPT. Oh, I don't want to just skim over the headset from Headset Advisor. This is the best prize. So if you haven't won the wireless headset from Headset Advisor, put #sales to enter to win. You're going to want this one. It is so good. It's not the best on StreamYard, which is what we broadcast from, but it does. And I'm supposed to talk to someone at Headset Advisor about that. So if they're watching, I need to reschedule with you. But on Zoom, it's great. And it's noise canceling. You can't hear anything. And it's wireless. So if you're on your sales calls, you can walk around your house. So get some freedom in your life. Just put #sales to enter to win that wireless headset from Headset Advisor. #cold email will get you 1 year free of Lavender. Who here hasn't used Lavender? I think everyone has. It's a Chrome extension. It helps you with your emails. Check it out if you haven't already won. #cold email will enter you to win that throughout the show. #marketing will get you 1 month free in my program, which you can go to reveting.com/coaching to learn more about. It's marketing coaching, LinkedIn coaching, and live stream coaching. Prize 7 is from our guests, and big thanks to both of them who you're going to meet here in just a moment. Hey, David, thanks for being here. Glad that you're entering to win those prizes. But #revenue will get you 1 hour coaching session with the Randi Sue Deckard. You are going to meet her here in just a moment. But also we have ProspectHunter. And this font might be a little difficult for you to read if you're on mobile, but it says 2 free months of Smart Mail program. So they have launched this. We'll let Matt tell us more about that here in just a moment. But it's hyper personalization and video at scale. And I believe that's with email. So I'm going to talk to Matt about that here in just a moment and get some more clarity on that when we bring them in. But definitely start putting a revenue to enter to win these amazing prizes. I don't even know if anyone's using that yet. So be a first, David. Glad you're entering on all those prizes. Who else is here? Make sure that you're entering throughout the show. This is a great way to support me and the brands who support Whiskey Wednesday, aka now WinsDay. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Randi and Matt. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Super excited.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. It's great to bring you out of the comments and onto the screen to learn from you. You've been showing up for several months. I know both of you got really busy. Matt, you started in this role, what was it, back in March?
Yep.
Or this spring at least?
Early March. Yeah.
Randi, you're a senior vice president of sales. So you have been traveling for all these amazing shows and different things going on, which hopefully we get to hear about. But you both know the regular weekly drill. I pull up the 2-minute clock and we want to know your full life story of what we can't typically find on LinkedIn about you, from birth to what brought you to now. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Matt.
Okay. Well, you could probably find it on LinkedIn because I'm pretty transparent and honest about, people. You look at people's about section. It's usually, it's all reads all very the same, and they're all hardworking. No one's ever been lazy in their life and not worked full 8 hours. Everybody, everybody's a perfect worker all day, and that's not the case. We all know that. And I just, believe in being different. And that's why I think I've been, successful in the roles that I've been in. But anyways, in my about section, it does say that I have visited rock bottom. And but if you go back to the beginning, as a kid, I played baseball growing up, just the middle class family in Dallas, Texas. And I'm half Canadian. My dad's side of the family is from Canada. My mom's side is from Paris, Texas, which is where I'm at here. And there is an Eiffel Tower. It's not the Eiffel Tower, obviously, but it's got a giant cowboy hat on it. So if you've never seen it, I urge you to look it up. Anyways, but I went to college at UTD, wanted to be a meteorologist, then switched over to pre-med, and then ended up with a finance degree. But because I cared too much about baseball, and baseball was my life. And I got hurt, tore a tendon in my elbow, got in a car accident afterwards, broke my neck, had 2 strokes, and hit rock bottom after a lot of issues with extracurricular drinks and other stuff that changed my life. But I met the founder of ProspectHunter 20 years ago, and we ran into each other again about 12 years ago. And from then on, that was when the change and the turn happened, and I am where I'm at because of that, all those things. So,
wow. Well, that's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that is the exact type of life story that makes you more human, that people can connect with. So I appreciate you sharing, and getting a little vulnerable even about yourself. And also, before we switch over to Randi, could you tell us more? And hopefully I did justice to your prize that ProspectHunter is so graciously giving away if people enter #revenue.
Yeah, so we, ProspectHunter is a demand generation company, and it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But essentially, we connect our clients to their audience. But as the years have gone by, technology's gotten better, as everybody knows, and there's a little thing called AI and these large language models that are very beneficial if you use them correctly. And anyways, with the right tools and the right resources and the right people, I always wanted to put together a program that basically takes us, we were 95% cold call for many years, and then 5% everything else. And I want to get us to a place that's 95% everything else, 5% cold outbound if we have to. And anyway, smart mail's one of the first steps towards becoming not dependent on cold calling, and it does include the hyper personalization of emails at contact level, at scale, and also videos via email as well. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So
thank you for sharing that. And one lucky winner here on WinsDay is getting 2 months free with that. That's personalized video and email at scale. Thank you so much. And Randi, could we pass it over to you? Could you please share? And I still have the clock running here. Let me pause it, and we'll start it over. But in 2 minutes, we would love to hear your full life story from birth to what brought you to now. And, a little bit of everything in between what we can find on LinkedIn. But yeah, could you fill us in?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I think is unique about me is I was a scientist become sales leader, and I actually drug my heels the whole time. No one really wanted to. I was totally resistant to getting into sales. The thing that really turned me was mindset, and having a really curious mindset and realizing the skills that I learned as a scientist, how they could be used in go-to-market 15 years ago is really what accelerated me. And what you won't see on LinkedIn is that I'm a farm girl, was raised on a farm, born in Canada, lived in multiple countries. I think I went to like 18 different schools before I graduated. Having lived overseas and just made me more empathetic. And as crazy as it sounds, our family farm was a business. So from the get-go, I've always had this entrepreneurial mindset. My mom actually came into entrepreneurial stuff late in life. And when I say late, in her late 40s, she ended up having a estate planning business, and I helped her with that. And, she kind of broke generational wealth gap that has never happened in our family before. And she was just an inspiration to me that it's never too late for anything. And, so I'm really grateful for her and the fact that she never gave up. She was a teenage mom, had me when she was 15 years old. I was the first to go to university, all of those things. So, like I said, growth mindset is just really important to me, because I think that if you can, you will. If you don't think you can, you won't. So that's just a little bit about me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. And same, it's like, that's a really human story. So I really appreciate hearing that, Randi. Thank you for sharing. And I love when we have those like generational, wealth changers in our line, or maybe some of you out there are that person. And I wouldn't be surprised. But Randi, same for you. We would love to hear if people are putting hashtag revenue in the comments. They're entering to win Prospect Hunter, and we just got to hear about that. But what are they getting with the 1 hour of coaching? And maybe we should share a little bit about our announcement now, or do you think at the end of the show?
You can go ahead and make the announcement, and then I can share. How's that?
Okay, that sounds great. Well, I'm really excited that officially Randi and I have started working together. She's going to be helping me she's helping me with sales for Reveting, and not just with WinsDay, but with everything we have going on in the pipeline.
So, and I'm super excited to partner with you, Jesse.
Yes, I'm super excited to have your help, because obviously you're an expert. I need your help. And I think it's just a match made in heaven. And I've really enjoyed getting to know you, especially through the comments on WinsDay and, in the Women Wave Warrior community. So it's just been really great. And I'm looking forward to seeing where we go together.
Absolutely. Me too.
All right. Well, I'll give you your space to tell us about the prize.
Yeah. So the hour coaching session, I really help, anyone in go-to-market, whether you are an SDR, BDR, or a leader. And we can focus on one or two things. We can focus on growth mindset. Maybe you're looking for your next role, or how you level up, or maybe you're struggling and just need to bounce ideas off for your go-to-market plan or process. I'm extremely curious. I love to dig in. I'm data-driven. So either way, I would love the opportunity to help someone, regardless whether you're entry level looking to make a move, or whether you're a leader. I'm an equal opportunist of how I can help and give back.
That's true. You do give back in so many great ways, and really put in hashtag revenue that she is like really awesome. I feel really lucky that I'm getting this opportunity, Randi. So, and I look forward to having you even hold me accountable and what I know I need to do better and improve. So thank you for your prize and sharing with everyone. And thank you for your time and your interest in the future of Reveting and helping more B2B brands improve their events. So with that, let's get into today's hot topics, because we have some really good ones. So this first one is pre-sales strategy, outbound, ICP, and processes. So who here in the comments works in pre-sales or has in the past? Would love to know your experience there, what you found to work, what didn't work. But I believe this is you're both experts on all of these topics. So either of you could kick us off on both, but I believe this was your topic. Is that correct, Randi?
Yeah. And the way that I really wanted to kick this off and focus is, it's about the fundamentals, and it's really critical to have your processes outlined of what good looks like, and also to help your staff, understand, what you shouldn't go after. And as part of that, defining your ICP. So I've worked at multiple startups or new business units in a global company, and I was always amazed that lack of processes or documentation, and especially around the ICP. If you don't get that right, it's really hard to get your product market fit if you're not going after the right people. And you're also wasting time and resources if you chase a customer, they come in and they're not actually the right customer. You burn time, money, resources. And it's really critical if you want to have what I call sustainable growth, and that is scalable, that you have your processes well documented, you visit them often, and everyone understands what the expectations are, and you are setting those expectations early and often. And on the customer side, it's really important that you qualify often, do discovery often. It never actually stops. And if you can, if you are in a sales leader position, you have to be aligned with marketing, customer success. You have to look at what I call the whole ecosystem. And whenever I've been a leader, I've tried to get a role where I'm over sales, marketing, customer success, or there's the culture that there is alignment. If you don't have alignment in those three functions, you're really going to struggle with the success of the organization.
Oh man, that's just such a really great topic that we could get into so much. But let me find a view where we can all be seen. There we are. But great to see you, Lauren. And yes, get those 10 hours of virtual assistant. Hi, mom. That's my mom, Susan Boozer Coleman. That's my maiden name, Coleman. She's apparently on Facebook. LinkedIn user, you need the privacy setting rules. We are not getting your data on StreamYard since you're popping up as LinkedIn user. It's a LinkedIn data privacy thing. Sabrina, if you're still here, can you please put that in the reply? Yes. So, or you can go back to the intro video because we have a little section in the intro video with the LinkedIn data privacy rules. But anywho, I digress. But you mentioned sales, customer success, and marketing, and having alignment in those three things. And that is extremely important. And typically on this show, we only talk about sales and marketing alignment. So can you talk to us a little bit about bringing in customer success to that alignment?
Yeah. So the reason you have to look at the whole spectrum or ecosystem of the customer life cycle, the best example I can give is, if you're looking at customer lifetime value, you may have someone who stays a long time, brings in revenue, or you may have a customer where it's actually costing you a lot to serve them. So looking at that, you can reverse engineer who brought in those deals where we're getting a high CLTV and why. Like, what are the trends and patterns of why a customer adopted early, stayed with us, and expanded? That's what you want to replicate, right? And where a customer is maybe burning resources, because expectations weren't set, et cetera, that's also where you need to go back and what's missing in your process. So that's why it is just so critical to look across the spectrum, and at the end can tell you what you need to do at the beginning.
Yeah, that's a really great point. Customer success can help you with upgrades, help you avoid downgrades, and if you're in SaaS, help you avoid those deletions, which can be really helpful.
And it's more than that. It's what are you actually doing in your pre-sales to attract the right customer, right? So that's why it's so critical.
That's a great point. Matt, in terms of customer success and aligning them with sales and marketing, what might you add?
I would just, I would say that, the customer success, once you're looking at, you have clients that are coming in, it gives you a very a good indication early on how well your sales process went, because if you've got customers that come in and their expectations are completely, out of alignment with what you're supposed to be selling or how you're supposed to be selling or what the process is supposed to look like, you're set. I mean, you've been set up for failure. And now customer success has to dig themselves out of a hole, and sales is just sitting back doing, reselling, and just, repeating the process. So, I always, it's, frustrating, but it's always a good learning lesson when you have, clients that come in, because not every client, pays attention, when you're going through the sales process. So they do miss things. But as Randy said, setting those expectations early, often, and every call and every turn is crucial, because you don't want to, end up in a place where the client's saying, well, I thought we were going to get this and at this time, and they're like, well, wait a minute, you have a sales cycle that's 12 months. Why are we expecting deals closed at 3 months? Who told you? Because there was, in the sales process, there was some expectation that was set, but not really checked down to say, okay, hold on. Okay, you might be closing deals in 3 months from inbound leads, but with outbound leads, it's totally different. It's a totally different ball game. You're bringing the sales process to them. They're not bringing the sales process to you. So you got an uphill battle, uphill climb, and then you also have to, figure out, okay, when is the right time to actually bring them into the buyer's journey? Is it now, or is it later? Is it, when is it? Maybe it's 2 years down the road. Who knows? So, the customer success will tell you if your sales process is working or not.
That's a great point. Well, thank you both for wrapping our minds a little bit and bringing us back to customer success, because I know in sales and marketing, we forget a lot about customer success. And it's a good topic to bring up. We should talk about it more on WinsDay even. But you brought up even a little bit about inbound and outbound. So let's switch topics into demand gen and avoiding failure when outsourcing. Can you talk to us a little bit about this, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're outsourcing, especially if you're looking for a demand gen company like ours, or many of the other ones out there, companies just need to first understand, internally look at what is right for them. Do we need to bring it in house? Do we even need to look from a demand generation perspective? Who is our audience, and how are they best reached? Are we going to be able to reach them through cold calls? Are we going to be able to reach them through email, through WhatsApp, through text message, and through all these different channels? And if so, what do they respond to? And just, you have to first understand, before you ever start evaluating, a company that does what we do, you just have to understand whether or not outsourcing first is right. And you have to have a clear, be able to clearly, say, yes, this is right for us, and here is why. But in order to make sure it's successful, you also need to understand and have a clear expectation as to, or give a clear expectation as to what you expect. And I think many times what happens is, we kind of talked about it earlier, is that companies will come in and, they'll expect certain things that are just unrealistic, and, they will campaigns will fail because the expectations are just completely misaligned. And if nobody's there to nobody's listening, and nobody's there to just kind of put the put the marker back where it needs to be, kind of reset expectations. That's in the demand generation. I say that probably 15 times a day. It's all about expectations. Every client call, every interaction is all about making sure that that we tell them what we're going to tell them. We tell them what we told them, and then we tell them, and then we make sure that they understood what we told them last time, and we get them to repeat it. But if you come in with false expectations, and the company that you're looking to outsource to doesn't correct them, you're going to fail. And it's when you're clients ask this all the time. So what's going to make this a success, Matt? Well, ultimately you are a client, and they're like, well, but I'm hiring you. Yeah, but I can't make you close deals, and I can't control your sales cycle. I can't control how you follow up with the leads. So from on the other side of the coin, from, a demand generation or a company that outsource BDR, SDR, whatever, they're calling it these days. We have to, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, we have to, just to be able to add value if we see that the client is not, we have clients, from time to time that are, not following up with leads properly, or maybe they're not, they're just not, managing their sales cycle properly. And if you don't make yourself valuable, it doesn't matter if your leads are great or not. You're the reason, you're the fault, you're the problem, and you're not gonna be able to renew that client, keep the client. And but if you can figure out where those issues are by having conversations and being candid, and then you have an opportunity to make yourself very valuable. And at that point, they won't get rid of you. So it's kind of a two-way, thing, especially in the demand gen space.
I really respect that. Sometimes it is okay to look inward and be like, I am the problem. We are the problem. So we can improve. And that's something that I like to lean into, is just fail fast, and that's okay, and improve and get that feedback.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was all really valuable. What did you think about that, Randi?
So first off, I don't have a hot take. I agree, and it's it's all about using data and iterating, which is really just failing forward, like you said. And when you do make those changes, it's making the best change and using data to do that, right? And data plus looking at the business unit economics, like once again, the whole picture, because being a scientist, guess who can make data look however they want it to?
Mm-hmm.
So it's making sure the data you are looking at is appropriate, so you're not being misled or misleading someone else. It's really important that you understand the raw data source.
I'm so glad you brought up data, because you're right. It's like data is so important, but also quality data. Like, you need to have good data, clean data, and ideally you have a good data culture even on your team. But we talk about data every week on Thursdays on deconstructing data, if anyone's interested in tuning in there, because I could talk about data all day. But it's a great point. And our next topic, it gets into first go to market, pivoting your startup. So you wouldn't want to pivot without the right data, because data really helps us with our decision making. But before we transition there, just want to wrap up on demand gen and avoiding failure when outsourcing. Anything else either of you can warn our amazing audience about with avoiding outsourcing, avoiding failure with outsourcing? And audience, does anyone have any stories with this? Is anyone out there doing any of this work? We would love to hear from you. But yeah, what would both of you end with?
I would just say, when you're evaluating, outsourcing, personally, I've had some failures. Like, I've walked into roles where they had an outsourced company, and either after reviewing, digging in, they didn't understand our ICP, or after listening to some calls, how they were messaging it, even though they've been trained. So, like I said, I think it's basic fundamentals, but doing your due diligence, and like everything else, if you can find someone in your network who's had success in a way that you want to, that you can replicate, that's probably the fastest way to get to success, right? Is by asking someone in your network what their experience was with a certain company. If it's similar, I think that's the best way.
Yeah, I would also say that, clearly defining what success looks like to you, and, laying that out for the company that, it's a question that I always ask when I'm, bringing on a new client or whatnot. But, and I even ask it, when we're in the customer success, meeting with the clients, and what does success look like for you? How define that for me? And that should be, if it's not realistic before you bring them on as a client, it's not going to be realistic afterwards. But if it is, then it just needs to be clear, communicated as to how we're going to get there, what steps we're going to take. And, obviously there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be bumps. You're going to hate us one day. You're going to love us the next day. But the important thing is, transparency, communication, and just always, not being afraid to communicate how you feel. Because a lot of times, there's a lot of companies out there that aren't good at, we're no different. Sometimes we're not good at communicating what we see as being the problem. Sometimes we are. And as for the client, a lot of times they're afraid to hurt somebody's feelings, or just, you just have to be open and honest and say, look, I don't like what I'm seeing, and here's why. And then you just talk about it, but you got to be honest and open. And, but if you don't create that relationship first, that environment for honest and, open communication about, how much you hate me today and how much you love me tomorrow, you're never, it's not conducive to a successful relationship.
Oh, such a great point. Culture is so important. Yes, thank you for that. And we're going to be getting into a little bit more on this and more after these messages. I want to show you how to do a voicemail drop. And voicemail drops can be really creative ways to reach your audience. And, many of us are spending a lot of time on the phone, making calls, but hey, I'm here over in marketing to report that you can do a mass voicemail drop, and let me show you how. Let me log into my account here, Reviting. The hard part about any campaign is knowing your audience and knowing what you're going to say to them. Yeah, definitely check out Lead Magic if you haven't already. So what I love about Lead Magic is their lead scraper. You can see that right here. Also, another thing are the technographics. Then import that into High Level. So High Level for me, it's white labeled. It's app.reviting.com. So when you go in here, you're going to want to, you can get your contacts in here however you want, the ones that you want to do the voicemail drop with. Once you know who you're sending your voicemail drop to, create a new workflow from scratch. And you can add in your trigger, which would be the tag that you add. For me, and for this example, I'll go ahead and say tag added, and it will be anyone who downloads my free LinkedIn 5-day challenge workbook that's on my LinkedIn page. And if you get that, we'll go ahead and wait just for a minute, save action, and then we're going to do voicemail. All right, so now I need to get a voicemail and I need an audio file. And luckily I have this just like free online tool. You can go to 123apps or online-voice-recorder.com. You can see it on the screen. And I am just going to record a voicemail. Hey, it's Jessie Lezak. Wanted to follow up with you about the 5-day challenge workbook and course that you downloaded and see what you thought of it, if you've had a chance to complete it, and how I can support you on your journey to LinkedIn growth. Give me a call back anytime. My cell phone number is 510-335-9355. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. We'll move this in a little bit. Move that in just a tad. Save. Open so I can't see. So here is my recording. There it is. It's loading. Hey, it's Jessie Lezak. Wanted to follow up with you about the 5-day challenge workbook and course that you done. And that's how people will get into the voicemail drop. And I think you should try a voicemail drop too. And if you would like some support on that, I would love to help you. Just give me a call. You already heard my number in the recording, 510-335-9355, or you can email me at Jessie, just my first name, JESSIE @reviting.com. That's REVETING.com. Hope to help you with your voicemail drop here soon.
Check these emails. Wait, I need to write the script. Oh my god, I forgot to schedule all my content last week.
I know the chaos of running a one-person business can feel too much sometimes. Carry Assistant has become my secret weapon to success. Having an actual niche assistant has been so game-changing. But since bringing on one of their virtual assistants, they have been handling all my nitty-gritty tasks, from DMing people on my socials to following up with leads, even doing the cold outreach for me. Plus to help with all the tedious admin tasks like managing emails, scheduling appointments, reminding me of appointments. Just imagine imagine the time that you're going to have when you have an actual niche virtual assistant helping you with all these things. So with Cherry Assistant, you're never going to have to worry about the little things again. You don't want to call with them. That way they can actually gauge your business needs and they're going to help you fill the gaps. You go to cherrysystem.com, you can get on a call with one of them and they're going to help you find your person. Now you can actually finally free up some time to focus on building your empire.
Thank you all for watching those ads, and thank you to our sponsors again for all they do to support us. But yes, please check out High Level on my link and Cherry Assistant. But let's get into our third topic, which is first go to market, pivoting your startup. So Randi, I believe this is your topic, if I'm not mistaken. You both have such similar expertise. Again, like it's like you could both speak on any of the topics. But could you kick us off on this one?
Yeah, so just to be consistent, when you are considering pivoting, I'm always looking once again at what is the data telling us. One of the hard things sometimes in a startup is like, how much data do we have? Or maybe you don't have data yet. And so where do you start? And so I think it's really critical that your processes, like I've stated before, are in place. You're visiting them often, and you're making sure that as part of your process, you have ways to collect data, because experience will only get so far. I think anyone who has been a go-to-market leader for more than 10 plus years can honestly say, if they're being honest, that, just because something worked before doesn't mean it'll work again. And just because you failed before doing something doesn't mean that you'll fail again. Market customers, so much stuff has changed that, you really have to be in the moment and look at what's happening now and how you react to that. Once again, using data and or using your experience based on customer insights, what your KPIs are saying, and ensuring that when you pull a lever, you're only pulling once, you can monitor it and see how it does. You got to give yourself time to see if, yes, you want to fail forward fastly, but you don't want to say, hey, it's failing, and you pull it too early. Maybe you just haven't given it enough time yet. That I've seen that happen as well. So you have to give yourself time constraints that actually can prove that this has failed in that moment. And I think, once again, that it's super, super critical that you have alignment and that you're having candid conversations. I think one of the other big mistakes that I've seen when folks are going to pivot is that they're not having those candid conversations, with their leadership as they're managing up, and also with their team. It is so critical that in a startup that you can be 100% transparent. And, if you see something's not working, what's the plan to fix it, right? How are you going to address it? But you can't avoid those hard conversations in a startup and win.
Yeah, definitely. It's such a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. It kind of brings us back to the topic of culture again.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Claudette was, what did she say here just a second ago? Claudette said, love hearing your insights. And Claudette, I was going to let you know, if you want to update your data privacy on LinkedIn, then we can get your data in StreamYard so that we are able to see your information and you're able to enter to win prizes. So make sure everyone's entering to win prizes still. But yeah, I don't know. I like how you took this topic of first go to market, pivoting your startup, to a conversation on culture. Because really, it's like the best cultures are always the most revenue generating cultures. And those are the ones where you're able to have those vulnerable conversation and tell people about your failures and be real. But what might you add to that, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I talk about culture all the time, and there's there's been several companies that a few companies, I say several, but a few companies I've been with that have pivoted and gone different directions, and ultimately those companies. There was one of them was actually both companies that I worked for that were in the startup phase, or more or less in the startup phase. They're not around anymore, but it just really comes down to your culture and how do you make your people feel? Do they feel like they belong there? Do they feel appreciated? But but when you look beyond that, you also have to have a product, and you have to have data that suggests that you're going in the right direction. And it made me think of something else for in the demand generation, in working with outsourcing companies. You got to have confidence in what you said, about jumping in and then pulling out too fast. We see that too often. You've got to give it time to work, and just like the expectations that have to be set, you can't expect something to just work overnight if it's never been done, or you've never been. There's no iterations. There's nothing to really to judge your results on, except for the data that you have that suggested that you're going in the right direction, that you're pivoting for the right reasons to the right people. And so I just, but at the end of the day, if you have a great product, or you have a great plan and great processes, if you got people that don't care about them, and you got people that don't feel cared about, they're not going to follow them, and you're going to ultimately end up having a lot of issues.
It's a really great point. I'm glad that you shared it. What would you add there, Randi?
So it just sparks, and foundationally, you have to. My philosophy is a people first culture, because people are in the company, doing the things. They're making the product. You got developers. People are in sales. Running the process. You have people, customers buying. So you have to always think about, people, and of course that lends to your process. And of course we want to drive, pipeline. But if you're not thinking, about people, and I always have this saying that my true north is the customer. And here's the thing, I define a customer as internal and external, which comes back to point A, it's all about people. So I just want to add that, because I think that, as I was talking, I didn't share that. And I just think it's really important that you get the right people making the right decisions, and the right people who can have those hard conversations, and, setting those expectations so that people who are in those seats know what they need to do. And of course, going after the right customer, i.e. the right ICP.
Yeah. And, it's one reason I'm super grateful to partner with you with Reviting, is because I know that you take culture very seriously, and so do I. And I know that you'll communicate openly with me in the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so I know that's extremely important. But yeah, we have a lot of plans here to grow fast. So I could see where, we could run into some ugly situations, and that's normal. We're human, right? We're all imperfect human beings after all, and we should fail fast. But Elizabeth is on here, and she says, #people over everything. You're speaking my language. Yes, culture is incredibly important, but we still have one more topic. So I will digress for now, but culture is important with SDRs too. It's a whole nother dynamic. So SDR success, leaders' role in prospecting. Now, Matt, could you kick us off on this topic?
Yeah, first I've learned over the years that I hear too many SDRs, BDRs. Over the years, I've heard probably hundreds, if not more, on LinkedIn, just out within on the sales floor, everywhere, that they're just a BDR. I'm just an SDR, And that kind of mindset is the exact opposite of really the true value and importance of what an SDR does. Because if a company's primary our marketing strategy involves outbound marketing, cold outbound, and you've got SDRs doing the work, or you have inbound leads, and the first people that your audience is talking to are SDRs. That experience has got to be a really good experience, and if that impression that they get is going to carry over into the entire sales process. And I can't tell you how many deals we've probably lost over the years, and I've lost just simply because they had a bad experience on the very first call. So number one, the SDR is it's probably, if not the most important on a lot of days. It's it's one of the most important roles, which is why what I started doing a few years ago. I started consulting a few years ago, and a couple of companies I was with. I actually, after doing a lot of research and looking at the data, I decided to get rid of the R behind the sales development, and I've actually taken all of the SDRs that are with the companies that I oversee. We put a manager at the end, and it's amazing what that manager word will do to somebody's mindset, mentality. And because essentially, like in our world, if you are, or in SDR's world, you are managing things. You are a manager. You have to manage expectations. You have to manage a pipeline. You have to manage a calendar. You have to manage the CRM. You have to manage all kinds of things. So and people, because of that R behind the title, that representative, they don't take it as seriously. They don't pride themselves in in the work that they do sometimes, and you want them to. So it's I just felt like it was really, really, really important that they understood that, and and by giving them, so our at ProspectHunter, that it's account development manager, and because that's essentially what they do. It's another pipeline opportunity manager, account development manager. There's different names that you could give it. Business development manager. Just every organization's different, but I want people to take pride in the work that they do, the role that they're in, because it is such an important role. Also, one of the things that kind of frustrates me a lot, I see on LinkedIn, or I see just hear people talking. You look back, 10 years ago, 15, 20, 30 years ago, you had people, the SDRs, whatever, salespeople on the phones, and they had a phone, there was a phone cord behind them, and they had a phone book, and they were calling. And that's just how, people like myself, we learned how to call. I may not look that old, but I'm definitely, I remember what it was like to hold a phone with a cord. A lot of people don't, the younger people, obviously. But, what's happened is over time, you hear people talking about all the noise, and obviously you've got technology that's taken over, and we get addicted to the technology that we're using, the data that we're pulling, and we get fed with all these resources and all this technology to enable the success. And that's all great if it's used properly, but you also have to be a good steward of those resources in technology. And as a leader, I hear too many people saying, "Oh, well, just get back on the phones and make calls." Well, have you as a leader actually shown them what that looks like? Because all you've given them is data. You've given them access to data. You've given them a parallel dialer, which I have a LinkedIn post that I called paralysis by dialysis, because anybody who starts in an SDR role on a parallel dialer has never been on one. They're dialing 10 people at a time. They're never, ever going to want to dial ever again on any other dialer. And it's when they start to dial one person at a time, they're going to get sick of it real quick. And so you just have to manage that and manage the expectation. But you have to show people, what that looks like. If your data or your list, it reaches the end of the list, and you don't have anybody to call. What does that mean? What do you do? How do you do it? How do you approach it? Who do you call? What do you say? And I think as leaders, we're also, we succumb to the same noise and distractions that everybody else does, and all our SDRs do. But we blame it on them too often. Well, it's all the noise, distraction, all their technology. We have the same problem. And as leaders, we just have to remember that and make sure that we're, helping them see that if you don't have data or technology or, whatever happens, the worst case scenario, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to approach it. And, you also have to figure out a way to make sure they don't get addicted to all the resources that we give them so that if they don't have them one day, they can still function.
They can still have sales conversations
Yeah.
and pick up the old rotary phone.
Yep.
What would you share about SDR success, Randi?
So going back, I dropped a little comment in the LinkedIn chat, and it's know your worth. Regardless of your title, what you're doing is critical to the whole process, right? And I think you're never a just anything, and this comes back to that mindset. And as a leader, I view it as my role for anyone on my team, regardless of their title, to make sure they understand how critical they are to the steps and that they actually feel that. It's not just I know that they're critical, it's just they feel that, because I think it shows up in how they work and the results that are produced. The other thing that I would say is like I feel and totally understand what Matt's saying. We do have a lot of tech available to us, and if you've never had those things, at the end of the day, sales is just a conversation, and I use the word just because you're dealing with another human, and I think that sometimes people forget, and even though we have processes and you have to be curious, at the end of the day, being able to read, if I pick up the phone and I can tell maybe your voice is a little off or whatever, like how you approach that person, is critical, and having that empathy and curiosity, even though it may not be the way the script is. I'm a huge fan of empowering folks and showing them what good looks like, including how you can, a script is just that. It's just a framework for you to use, but you want them to bring their authentic gifts, what they really are good at, and bring that into the role. And the only way to do that is if you really make them understand, what their superpowers are. And like I said, that just comes down to coaching.
Coaching, yeah, you're really great at it. Definitely a master. So you're all getting a master class here from both of the masters. But thank you so much to both of you for sharing that knowledge on all those topics tonight. We do still have the Guru of the Week, and we need to give away prizes. So if you haven't entered to win prizes, we've got some good odds. We've got 3 on high level, only 1 on Cherry Assistant. So please, someone, so I can run the prize tool, tag Cherry Assistant to enter 10 free hours. So just get some help with your social posting. They'll make 10 free hours of social media posts for you by tagging Cherry Assistant in the comments. Hashtag right to use Open Draft. They climb super fast in Product Hunt. I use them for all types of content. It's not just ChatGPT, but it is AI. And it optimizes things for SEO and keywords. Hashtag sales has 3. Hashtag cold email has 1. And hashtag marketing 0. Hashtag revenue has 2. So we still want to hear from you. We still want to have you enter those prizes. And before we do the, the giveaway, we'll do the Guru of the Week. And I have the graphic ready with both of the images. I'm going to take myself out of the screen. So could the both of you tell us why the audience should go follow these 2 people? Let me pull them up here. Can you guys hear me? Take it away.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you initially. So I just wanted everyone to go ahead and follow Shawanda Roberts. She couldn't be on this show today, but she promised me she'd listen to the replay. Shawanda is someone who I really admire. She's a VP of sales, and her and I are both mentor in Girls Who Sell. And like I said, she just has a lot of really great sales advice. So I encourage you to follow her. You will not regret it.
Yeah, I chose Brian Segre. He and I have actually only spoken a couple of times, but I saw a post of his probably, I don't know, 6 months ago. He was sitting on the back of his truck, and he talked about giving up a life as a doctor, and making a ton of money, and he wanted to be happy. And just there's something about his post that was just, it just seemed so genuine and real. And just looking at the guy, I was like, man, I want to be sitting on the back of my truck and looking down and watching the animals run across. Just the way he put it. And I started reading his posts, and I just realized that he, as a performance coach for your brain, that's how he advertises himself. He has so much little just nuggets of wisdom, and all about optimizing mentality and your emotions and your physical performance, everything. So he's got some really amazing stuff, and you should definitely follow him.
The whole time. Thank you both so much for sharing on Shawanda and Brian. I put their names in the chat and LinkedIn. So if you want to go follow them, congratulations to them for hashtag Guru of the Week. But that means it's time to give away these prizes. So I am going to just pull up the screen and start to give them away. But before I do, would both of you like to share one more time a little bit about the prizes? So if anyone left watching wants to put in hashtag revenue, what would they be taking away from with Prospect Hunter, Matt?
A bunch of so cold emails going out at in high volumes, but also going out hyper personalized at the contact level, and we can. Well, I don't want to talk about the numbers, but it's a high number, but we're able to literally push a button and personalize at the contact level, different snippets, and put together a personal email for a whole sequence for each contact. But also we do the same with video and incorporate that into the sequence as well. So so it's we will create a domain, and well, obviously we want that domain warmed up, and then after that we start to titrate or just send out just little by little, but then eventually we're going full blast, and we have really good conversion rates all across the board, open rates, click-through rates, and so
that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Randi, how about you? Could you please share a little bit about your 1 hour of coaching?
Yeah, so I am offering 1 hour of coaching, and regardless of your title, whether you're SDR or a leader, I have helped people with looking at transferable skills. They either want to move to another role, level up, or I've helped people because they're stuck. I'm really good at growth and transformational mindset changes. And then just go to market. One of my side hustles is I advise, startups. So if you just need someone to look at your data or look at your processes, poke holes at it, I love to poke holes and have great conversations. So would love the opportunity to help you.
Well, thank you so much to both of you for sharing a gift with the winners, or whoever wins today. So let's go ahead and find out who those winners are. Of course, if you win, make sure you go to reviting.com, and that's reviting.com/winner. Let me put that up on the screen so you can see that at the bottom. So we'll collect your information, and we connect you with the brands via email. So you will not have, say, for example, your high-level swag pack right away. We'll have to collect your information. We'll connect you in the email, and then it usually takes 1 to 7 days for shipment. So it does take a little bit of time. Just bear with us. We will get it to you. But the sooner you fill out reveting.com/winner, if you win, the faster we can get you your prizes. So let's get to the fun part and give them away. So who is the winner of High Level? We've got 4 entries, and it's not going to be me. So if it's me, I'm doing a draw again. Obviously, I wrote High Level in the comments. I hate when that happens. David, Miguel, of course. Of course, no, we're going to draw again. Thank you very much. Whoops.
Congrats, Jesse.
We need to do a redraw on that one. And here we go. It's going to be Miguel. Congratulations. You are the winner of the High Level Swag Pack. Miguel, so if you could go to reveting.com/winner and give us your details, then we will be able to connect you with High Level. Let's go ahead and give away another one. I didn't want to stop my camera. I want to share my screen, but there's too many buttons. Let's go into the next one. Cherry Assistant. We've got 2 entries. Who wants 10 hours free with a virtual assistant service? Like, why not get 2 hours free to unload? We're all just have too much going on. Anyway, Lauren, congratulations. I'm so glad you won. I believe we have your information, but to keep things flowing, if you want to go to reveting.com/winner, our VA will get your information. Big thanks to Sabrina, and we will connect you with Cherry Assistant. Let's go ahead and give away #right. Oh, actually, nope, we don't have enough entries there. So let's go to #sales. We've got 4 entries on #sales. Who's it going to be? Congratulations, David. You are the winner of #sales. I'm almost positive you just won recently. So I think we have your information, but it doesn't hurt just to fill out the form to be safe. We'll be looking at that right after the show to get you your information. So let's see. I'm still wondering who's going to win your guys' prize, but we've got 1 entry on #cold email. So we'll search the comments for you on that one. And #revenue. Here we go. Ooh, yes. 4 entries. It's either Lauren, the bomb, David. Who's the other one in there? Tro. Or True. Lauren, it's your night. You are the winner. You have won both of these prizes from our guests. So congratulations to you. We will be connecting you with them after the show. But before we go, congratulations to all of our winners. And I would like to ask both of the guests if you could please share with our audience how they can reach out to you after the show if they wanted to reach out. We'll start with you, Matt.
You can find me on LinkedIn. I mean, I'm not as active as I'd like to be, but yeah, you can find me there, or you can email me. I think my email is, I don't know if it's I've got 2 different emails, but my email on my LinkedIn profile, or you can reach me at matt@prospecthunter.com. And that's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. I'd give out my cell phone number, but yeah, I can give out that, but yeah, just email me or LinkedIn. Those are 2 great ways to get in touch with me. WhatsApp, I also have that up all the time. So
nice. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And yay, Lauren and all the winners. I see all the comments flowing in. So I'm excited about that. And Randi, same for you. I mean, you already have so many projects that you're working on. I know now Reveting is just another one of them. But, if people wanted to get to the top of your feed and reach out to you amongst all the noise, how could they do so?
Yeah, the easiest way is definitely LinkedIn. Just DM me or comment one of my posts. Please DM me. But honestly, that's I'm active on there. That's the easiest place to find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. And I am really grateful for both of you for showing up to the show months prior and not only that, just being experts in the field who've supported what I've done and what we do here on the show. So thank you so much. And to all of the viewers, thank you for being here. We hope you will show up again next week. And I guess our guests, you are viewers as well. So maybe I shouldn't put it that way. But next week, we have some more awesome guests. So be sure to tune in. We've got the Christian Bounds from High Level. He's my affiliate manager there who I talk to on a weekly basis. And then we have Dave coming in from Plena. And Plena, if you're not familiar, go check them out. It's an SDR bot. They're doing some really interesting new things, so you might want to check them out. But until then, I'm really grateful to both of you, Randi and Matt, for coming, and everyone in the audience, and hope to see you all next week. I'll go ahead and close this out with the video. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Randi.
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.